my name is Phil Mazzacco, and when I was a kid, I collected baseball cards for about 10 years. And, it's kind of a silly kid's hobby, but it was a big part of my life. And when I thought about it, I actually learned a lot of important life lessons from this hobby. So this is a little walk down memory lane. When I was about 6 years old, that's me over there on the right, my dad started bringing me home packs of baseball cards. And I didn't know anything about baseball. I didn't really care about baseball, but my dad is thinking about me. He's bringing me presents, so that's cool. And that kind of got me started. And for a couple of years, I wasn't really a collector. These were like toys. A lot of them ended up looking like this. I didn't take very good care of them. But that all changed one day. The most popular kid in school wanted to come look at my card collection. And I was just amazed. So he comes over, rifles through my cards, picks out a few that he's interested in. One in particular is a 1984 Don Mattingly, a guy I had not heard of. And he says, hey, I'll give you this Reggie Jackson. I still have that card. And I've heard of that guy, sure, I'll do it. And I'm happy he leaves, it's great. But he comes back the next day and he says, my mom told me I need to give you a couple more cards for the Mattingly. And he doesn't tell me why. So I went to the library and I priced these things. $1.50, the Mattingly, $90. So he got me. And the lesson was easy. Knowledge is power. He had it. I had none of it. And so he used that. He took advantage of me. But this was an important event because this lit a spark under me. I became obsessed with learning everything that I possibly could about these cards. I got Beckett Baseball Card Monthly, Price Guide. I memorized it every month for years. I flipped over my cards, started learning about these players, learned about the game, the history of the game, and it was exhilarating. It was so fun. It became a passion. I learned that there were some cards that were exceedingly valuable and rare. Sletson, Wade Boggs, Gerald Strawberry. My stomach hurt when I was a kid over these cards. I knew I'd never have them. They were too expensive. I could only dream about them. This again, it taught me there are these sort of unattainable desires, and I would always be dealing with them throughout my life. What I could do when I had some spare money, over there on the right, I would buy packs of cards. And I'm sure over a 10-year period, I bought 2,000 to 3,000 packs of cards. I'm searching for these treasures. Also, a card shop opened up around this time. I became a fixture there. I got to know the owner real well. I would bring in my cards. Do I have anything good? And he would say, you do, but you don't take care of them. So now I had to get the binders. You open a pack carefully, you get tweezers, you pull it out, you put it in the binder. No one ever touches it again. These things, of course, cost money. The baseball cards cost money. So I decided, okay, I need a job to fuel this hobby. So here's my Cleveland Plain Dealer paper route. That's the Sunday morning delivery, the worst. And I basically always had a job as a kid, like an actual job, because I wanted these baseball cards. So that was a good lesson. If you want something, you got to work for it. And what I would do, again, I would buy these packs. And the dream was, one day you'd open up a pack and you'd get a card like this. I did this. $1.50 for a pack of 1989 Upper Deck cards. And I pulled out a Ken Griffey, a $90 card. Ironic. That was one of my finest days. It's still, maybe that was my finest day of all time. I have a life. But normally, you'd pull Jose Uribe out, the worst player of all time, and I swear, for 5 years, he was in every pack of cards that I bought. I had hundreds of these. I used to burn them in my room, which is a whole other talk. So, baseball cards taught me this too, that miracles, don't often happen. I didn't care, I was hooked. And it wasn't just sports cards. Anything printed on cardboard, I wanted it. Garbage pail kids. I had thousands of those. I had ALF cards. It doesn't make sense now, but I guess it made sense back then. I had ALF cards. So, again, I was just obsessed. But it wasn't just about, obtaining these cards. There was a social aspect as well. All my friends had cards. I traded cards with them. Usually this went smoothly, not always. On one particular occasion, I had a friend and we concocted this trade. It was my 1965 Roger Maris, good card, for a 1985 Fleer Eric Davis. And at the time, I thought, Eric Davis, he's one of these rookies. I need to have this guy, a very desirable guy. My dad had given me this. I thought, he's not going to care. I went home, I told my dad, his feelings were clearly hurt. And he said, hey, take a look at that card that you got. There's a crease in it. I was like, oh my God. So I stomped back to my friend's house and I said, we're undoing this trade. You tricked me. I want my Roger Maris card back. And we got in a huge fight, like a really big fight. So, you know, this taught me these cards are not that important. I hurt my dad's feelings. I got in a fight with my best friend. That can't happen again. And I've said to my kids hundreds of times, people are more important than things. That's where I learned that. This same friend, on sort of a more somber note, a couple years later, he gave me his entire card collection. He just up and gave it to me. He said, I just want you to have these, take care of them. I took them home to my mom, like, look at this, I got thousands of dollars worth of cards. She said, no, that's not what that means. Go back and talk to him right now. And that was one of those moments where the world gets a little bit bigger. As I got into high school, I became less interested in cards and more interested in other things. I needed to take her to prom. I didn't have money for a suit, so I sold my cards and I got that nifty suit right there. And that's a trade I stand by because I actually got a wife out of that. A few years later in my 20s, I'm thinking, you know, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm going to sell off all my cards. I'm going to make thousands of dollars. I got a table at a card convention. And I just sold these 2 cards, $300 book value. Guy gave me 30 bucks for them. He made me feel, he's like, you don't know about, you know, the condition's not perfect. This isn't the way this works. So I left humiliated, and I'm like, that's it. No more baseball cards ever again. But then eBay rolled around, and I actually had some pocket change. So, you know, those 3 cards, I went and I got those. I have those today. And I also got my Mattingly back, the card that kind of started out. So, you know, it's kind of a silly hobby, kids thing, but I actually learned a lot of important stuff about life through this kind of pursuit. And that's it.